I'm tired of talk about what's wrong. I'm here because I believe we can change it. Right. If we're honest about where we are internationally and about where we're going, and united in demanding real, tangible progress for this county. That's why today's conversation is so important. Our guest, the Honorable Jesse Jackson Jr., is a former congressman of the United States of America. And an advocate of civil rights, a powerful voice of economic development and community investment. He understands what it takes to move communities from merely survivors to truly thriving. And he's here to share his economic vision for growth and how it can help transform Vermilion County. We didn't invite him for a photo op. We invited him because he's serious about changing direction and building a stronger, fairer economy for everyone who calls this place home. So on behalf of the Brooks Sustainability Foundation and the Three Kings of Peace, thank you for being here. Carrie, for being part of the solution. So please join me in giving a warm Vermilion County welcome to Jesse Jackson Jr.
Thank you very much, Steve, for the very kind introduction. I am particularly grateful to return to Vermilion County. I shared with Reverend McCullough and the leadership here at Three Kings that we will come back here as often as we are invited and as often as we are welcome. I'm good with that. I am particularly honored that Brother Brooks reached out to all of you so that we could have an honest and a frank conversation about the state of our economy, about some amazing options that are available to us. I want to once again thank Mayor Billy Ware of Tilton, Illinois, for joining us here in Danville for part of this very, very important conversation. Give Mayor Billy Ware a round of applause. Joined us as the former chairman of the Abraham Lincoln National Airport Commission, a commission of home rule municipalities in Illinois that secured developers and submitted to the state of Illinois a plan to build the world's first self-financing public-private partnership to construct a gateway. Say a gateway.
Gateway.
Say a gateway.
Gateway.
To construct a gateway to the world. A portal to the world. When you think about sci-fi movies and you hear all of this talk, Brother Brooks, about the idea of if you flew into a black hole, could it transport you to another universe? Some people believe that a black hole is what? A gateway. It is an entryway to another universe, another place, another time, and another space. When I say that the south side of Chicago, the south suburbs, Danville, Illinois, Tilton, Illinois, and Westville, Illinois need a gateway to the rest of the world, we have to have the ability to transport ourselves from our reality to another reality. We also, through that gateway, have to open up the gateway so that when we go through the gateway and come back through the gateway, we can bring some folk from the other reality to our reality. I'm trying to break this down for you in a way that John Diggles, my communications director, would absolutely appreciate this. Give John Diggles a round of applause. John drove 3.5 hours to be here with me today as well. And I'm going to go through all of the important components of my staff, my life, all of which are volunteers over the course of this conversation, because each one of them volunteers their time and sacrifices their time so that we can come here, and we'll do it again as many times as is necessary until everybody understands the vision. Say that? The vision. Until everybody understands what? The vision. And what does the Bible say? Without the people traveled through a black hole, that on the other side of the black hole, there will be a different reality than the one that we expect. We also understand that if we get and travel through a gateway in our own world, we can wake up one day, a few hours later, and find ourselves in London. And London is a different reality than Denver. We can travel through an American gateway, and after we travel through that gateway, in a few short hours, we can wake up in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is a different reality than Danville. If we travel through the gateway, we might find ourselves in Atlanta, Georgia. It is a different reality than Danville. But if there is no gateway, Danville's going to be Danville. Nothing's going to change in Danville. Nothing's going to change in Tilton. Nothing's going to change in Westville unless we what? Open up what? Gateway. So once again, without what? Vision. The people do what? Perish. Together. Without vision, the people perish. So part of our campaign's responsibility is to share with the people of Danville and the people of the 2nd Congressional District a broader vision. Because if we can unite people around the vision, I'm convinced, Brother Shaw, that we can move people from racial battleground to economic common ground and on to moral higher ground. I have to in that moment give credit to that quote to the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who the last 3 nights, as my father, I have spent time with him at Northwestern Hospital. And I left him at 2:30 this morning, went to my home to take a little brief nap, got up at 6:30 this morning. By 7:30, me and our crew were on our way to Danville, Illinois. The only way to Danville, Illinois is I-57. That's a kind of gateway to a bunch of roads that line back and forth past a lot of farms to get to Danville. The only gateway y'all got to the rest of the world is I-57. Y'all don't. Y'all just question. She was built up there, do for us down here. And I said, well, anybody down here who's going anywhere in the world has to drive from here to Champaign-Urbana. Then you board on a plane in that gateway, and then you go to O'Hare. On a regional plane, because there's nothing international leaving from here. Because you don't have a what? A gateway. I know y'all want to get right to the airport. It's all right. But I want to help us understand airports differently. A gateway. A gateway.
Yeah.
Mr. McCowan represents communities in the northern part of the 2nd Congressional District, of which Danville, for most of my tenure in Congress, was not a part. Now, if I'm fortunate enough, or someone is fortunate enough, to be elected your next congressman, we won't be fighting Congressman Jerry Weller. We won't be fighting other members of Congress who stood between us and opening up the gateway to the world for the people of the South Side of Chicago and the South suburbs. Brother Weir, we actually have more in common in South Cook County with the people of Tilton and Westville and Danville than we have in differences. Our politics may seem blue and red or black and white, but based upon my own personal assessment, we have some things in common. I believe we all love our children. I believe we're tired of our children, after they graduate from our local schools, moving to other communities to find jobs because there's nothing locally that they can stay and sustain themselves and the families they want to have in this community. I believe we are tired of premature births and premature deaths in our community. I believe we are tired of losing our healthcare facilities.
Come on.
Down here, just like we losing them up there.
Yes,
I believe that most of the people in Danville who receive SNAP benefits supplemental, that's a problem. I believe many residents in Danville, in Tilton, and Westville take advantage of the Affordable Care Act. We call it Affordable Care. Some folk call it Obamacare. The fact that we need affordable care and we work 1, 2, and 3 jobs a day and can't afford health care at the end of 3 jobs a day in Danville is a problem. So we need to change this reality. We need to escape from this reality. And the only way out of this reality is a gateway. It's a black hole that transports us from the reality that we are in to another reality and brings people from other realities into our reality, and they can see objectively some of what needs to be done to equalize realities on both sides of the gateway. Mayor McCowan's communities, for the 17 years that I was in Congress, from Governor Jim Edgar, Governor George Ryan, Governor Rod Blagojevich, Governor Pat Quinn, purchased 4,000 acres of land to build 1 runway, 5 gates, and a cargo area. That 1 runway, 5 gates, and a cargo area, on the day that it is announced that it will be built, represents 15,000 jobs in our enhancement. The construction jobs alone are 15,000. But the day the announcement occurs, every financial journal on planet Earth is going to write an article that says, America is opening up a new
Gateway.
a new gateway. A new capacity to move between universes and destinations. Something we can't do right now in Tilton, Illinois, in Danville, Illinois. It is something we can't do right now in Harvey, Illinois, Phoenix, Illinois, Dixmoor, Illinois, or University Park, Illinois. We need
Yes, sir.
University Park, Technology Park. You need the same gateway so that we can move soybean and anything else we're growing down here. We need the gateway. So his communities have invested $100 million over 4 governments to buy 4,000 acres of land to build a gateway. A gateway that will be shared between those up north and those of us who live down south. That land has to be transferred to an airport commission under Illinois law for the purposes of the construction of that project. It's critical because at this hour, without the gateway, many of our municipalities are looking at insolvency. It is one thing for Mayor Ware to be able to say, I want to welcome UPS and Amazon and DHL and FedEx to my community to put people to work when there's a gateway.
Yes.
Because these packages have to be moved to the global economy. But if there's no gateway, Mayor Billy Ware lost his 50 jobs, 6-figure jobs to Rockford, Illinois. Because driving a FedEx package from Tilton or a UPS package from Tilton to Rockford to send it to Hong Kong is so expensive, it's easier to move the UPS facility. Mayor Ware told the story a few minutes ago, and I'm going to give him an opportunity to tell it again in a moment. He heard on the same day from one of the UPS employees. Mayor Ware, tell the story. Please stand.
I'll explain it this way. A lot of the people that work at UPS, a lot of them in my community. Just so happened, I happened to be talking to a retired member of the UPS, and he said, do you know that they're going to shut down our hub? So no, never heard nothing about it. I could talk to them personally about exactly what was going on. Oh, I'm sure everybody can hear me. I don't hear anything. Anybody have a problem?
The mic is just the camera.
Anyway, after I spoke with them, I'm realistic. I'm a mayor of a small town that means nothing in East Central Illinois. So I got a hold of Mike Mayer, who at the time was the president of Vermilion Advantage and past state representative. He has way more connections than I can ever have. So Mike came on board. So then we tried to start doing something. Mike started sending letters out. Next thing I know, I have State Senator Rocky. He's on board. I have State Representative Brandon Schweitzer on board. I'm not going to tell you, yes, I will, because we're trying to prove a point here.
Tell it all.
I never heard a word from the Vermillion County Board Chairman. I got response from Mayor Williams on the very last letter that was sent out. Now, here's the problem. 50 jobs doesn't seem like much, but every one of those jobs were 6 figures.
Come on.
And the problem we had was when I talked to them, they go, well, some of them is just going over here to Champaign, some's going down to Mattoon, some's going to Rockford. I said, the problem is, though, economically, you took these 6-figure jobs and you're moving them. I said, I'm not going to drive 70 miles to go to work, and I'm sure these people are not either. So they're going to move. So there goes that 6 figures completely out of our neighborhoods, out of our stores, out of our shops. Now, the other problem is now that they're moved, UPS is not going to come back to Danville or Tilton or Westfield to hire. They're going to hire from Champaign, Rockford, Mattoon. So now we've permanently lost it. As I was speaking to Mr. Butler earlier today, I'm old enough to remember General Motors, Hyster, General Electric, Bone Aluminum, Western Brick. We lost them all. Now, it affected me that we were losing just 50 jobs from a UPS hub, and nobody seemed to really care.
No.
As I spoke with Congressman Jackson before, I am a Republican. But one was common sense. Industry, by bringing stores. I will support this man. I was asked to write an editorial for him in the Chicago Tribune. He actually volunteered a writer who sent me basically the article. I explained to the man, I cannot turn this over. This sounds like an educated Easterner. So I rewrote it with a couple little, just a couple minor things he checked me on because it was a word thing, how many words I had put in the article. But it boiled down to this. I know one of the Republicans that was running. She can no longer run because her opponent waited till the last minute to object to signatures. So she has no time to be able to prove that these people exist. She's came down here before. Congressman Jackson, I did not reach out to him. He reached out to me. He reached out to Mayor Williams. He reached out to the mayor of Westville. I thought it was a joke. Honestly, I thought I got a scam now. So I sent him back being my smart self. I said, oh, it'd be a pleasure to meet the man that walked with Martin Luther King. All of a sudden I get this email back. Mayor, I think you're thinking about my dad. I thought, whoop, I made a mistake here. This gentleman reached out to me. Everybody sitting in this room, me and Mr. Butler talking about other people. I come from a community that has been age-long known as racist. I took Mr. Jackson, Congressman Jackson, or he come down. I took him to a restaurant. He done something that amazed me. On his birthday. Went and out, my mom in her house, not politics. How you doing? How's things going? You lost your husband a couple years ago. Totally impressed. The second thing that impressed me was I introduced you to a gentleman that owns a dog kennel behind me, Donnell. I'm sorry, but I don't know Donnell's last name. The man impressed me because he said, my name's, but I had a little problem.
Talk some.
I'm running again.
Talk some. Yes, yes.
The man owned up to mistake. I told him the reason he went to prison was not because of what he did. It was because of his name. Because I told him, I said, let's be honest.
Come on.
You got a bartender that's in Congress, been in there one term and is a multi-millionaire, and she went in there broke on $170,000 a year. Yeah, you didn't get that way, honestly. There's some other stuff going on. And that's all of Congress, not just one person.
Come on.
So I think the man needs a chance.
Yeah.
He's the only one that I've heard of so far out of everybody running that actually has a plan.
A plan.
I don't need to vote for every. It don't matter. He has a plan. All the others are gonna tell you all the same thing. Oh, I got this, we're gonna help the economics. Oh, we're gonna help the crime. Oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and not one of them's gonna tell you a plan. He has a plan. The reason I like his plan, I know he's not ready to talk about the airport, but I texted him the other night. Believe it or not, we actually conversed quite a bit. But I texted him the other night, I said, I can see how your plan can work. If, Mr. Butler, if our county isn't smart enough to redevelop our airport, we could turn that into a hub that supports his airport. I'm not looking at major industry, but that hub could bring light industry back here. So I've spoken enough, because I told him before, Deontay goes, do you want to speak? I said, no, because I don't shut up. I'll turn it back over to Congressman Jackson, but just to let you know, that's why, once I found out I made a mistake, that's why I invited him down. But I also want you to know, me and the Western Mayor are the two that invited him. We want to hear his plan, so take that how you want, but I'm not going to speak bad on nobody.
Before I introduce to you the former mayor of University Park, I want to make the point in terms of what this man has done with respect to purchasing the land to open up, that if tomorrow Mitsubishi called the mayor of Tilton, Illinois, and said, I want to open up a car factory and a car manufacturing plant in Tilton, Illinois, promising anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 jobs. I didn't say it was happening, I said it's hypothetical. How exciting it would be that Tilton, Illinois would suddenly have more jobs than it does people in the whole village. If Mitsubishi called tomorrow and said, I'm looking for some land in Tilton because we have a new car line coming up. And if you can help me identify some land in Tilton, we'd like to be your new neighbor. We have to take some people from Tilton and bring them to wherever they Mitsubishi from, or Mitsubishi from Japan, or from China or something. Gonna learn a little Chinese, gonna eat a little sushi, gonna learn some of our customs in the plant. It's gonna be a little hard for some of us, but that's the way we run our plant. We're gonna do some of that cultural sharing in order to welcome growth, jobs, and economic opportunity to Tilton. I use this as an example. I did not say it's going to happen. I said this is an example.
Okay.
If that were the case, the mayor and the governor and the senator and the congressman would jump all over that. If Mr. Honda called tomorrow and said he wanted to bring a new motorcycle plant to Danville, Illinois, and I realize in Danville we probably drive Harley Davidson.
Right.
But if Mr. Honda called and said, I'm bringing 3, 4, 5,000 jobs to Danville, Illinois, we would find a way to welcome Mr. Honda to Danville. Now, I'm introducing you to a mayor who's part of a vision that because we are not named Honda, we are not named Kia, we are not named Mitsubishi, my last name is not Rolls Royce or Lamborghini, but the vision of the Abraham business here. We are in the gateway business. And once we open the gateway, we can never close it. Now, let me ask you this question. We need to build one 10,000-foot Code F runway. Say, a Code F runway.
Yeah.
Say it again now. A Code F runway. How many feet? How many feet? I said Code F. How many feet? 10,000. One, try this again, Dan. 10,000 feet, Code F runway. What did I just say?
10,000 Code F runway.
Why one 10,000-foot Code F runway? Because it means non-stop to Hong Kong. It means non-stop to Paris, France. It means non-stop to Frankfurt, Germany. It means non-stop to Lagos, Nigeria. It means non-stop to Johannesburg, South Africa. One runway. One gate.
One thing.
And his name ain't Mitsubishi or Honda. My name is not Kia. We represent a commission of your northern neighbors who bought land in the southern part of our district that the FAA and the state of Illinois has set aside for the building of one 10,000-foot Code F runway to open that gateway. And all we need is the governor of Illinois to transfer the land to the local commission. If the land is transferred to the local commission, every financial newspaper journal on earth is going to write an article that a new gateway is opening in the American market. A new gateway is opening. It will be published in every single language on earth. And before the runway is even built, the prospectors are going to come down here looking for where the infrastructure is to entertain their commercial developments so they can get their products to and from the marketplace. Are y'all walking with me?
Yeah.
Or am I talking to myself? I'd like to give a microphone for one of the creators and conceivers of the plan that I'm going to show you, Mayor McDonald.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just want to speak into.
Good afternoon. So nice to see you all, and so happy to see so many of you come out here at our conference. One thing that Congressman spoke about, he said 10,000 foot runway. The importance of that, it will not affect any airport here. The importance of that is that runway is the size that's required to land intercontinental airplanes, planes that can travel around the world. For example, at Midway, they don't even have 10,000 square foot runway.
Midway's longest runway is 6,000 feet. You will never see a 747 land there.
So it's important for you to understand the importance of that, because it opens up the gateway to this region as well. We're talking about a much broader international area to serve. Congressman Jackson, we've worked on this program for many years, even before he and I became involved. This program's been out there for 40 years. This is the first time there's been any legitimate supported plan developed. Back when we started this, we held international an open bid open, so to speak, where people could bid on this. Yeah, request for proposal, but people could bid on this from around the world, and they did. So the key to this plan, people will say, well, where's the money? We found the money, we had the money. It's never been a money problem. It's always been a political problem. It's always been. It's key that we in this community get behind this project so that you can bid, you can go through that gateway and open up opportunities for your community and your children. That's one of the things when I was mayor that always bothered me is that our people who graduated from school, we have a university in University Park, but our people always left the community to go to other areas to get jobs. What did that do? It didn't help the community. It helped our children, but it did not help the community. It had nothing to do with the community. And so people in the community were saddled with high taxes. Taxes from, people complain about the real estate taxes. I'm not real sure what real estate taxes are here, but I do know this. Where you have economic development, you have business. And it's just some of the things to keep in mind. I won't get into the project, for the congressman will get into the project. But I can say this about him. Someone asked me, well, why do you support the congressman? Just recently, someone asked me about it. I was sitting at dinner. I said, he reminds me of my father. A value that my father had. My father, 97, just passed about a month ago. But he would say, he grew up in the South, so some of you have to understand in the old, how people were in the old South. When I can remember my father and his brother talking, and they would talk about a deal that they cut. And they would say to each other, one of them would say to the other, well, did you shake on it? Back then, a handshake was a contract.
Right.
Doesn't work today, it seems to eat, right? Somebody's trying to figure out a way to get out of the contract or before it. But my father had this saying, when you put your word out there, you have to go get your word. That's what I remember about Congressman Jackson. The entire time I was in office, he came to God's word. He never let me down. And you know what else? He was always early. Never late. Like today, he's probably been here 2 hours before we start. Right?
2.5.
I know him. That's why 2.5 hours. I had to make sure I was every time. Because of that. So I just hope that your hearts and ears are open to hear and make your judgments on how to move forward. Thank you very much.
Give the mayor a round of applause. So, I'm gonna spend 20 minutes explaining the entire project, the need for the project, and how we're going to construct the project. But the real key, as the mayor said, is the political problem. How do I convince the red part of downstate to stop referring to those of us in the same district as they get everything, we get nothing. No. In this district, we're all in the same boat. Chicago may get everything, and we may be part of Chicago, but we don't get nothing either. And we're making the distinction between what everybody else gets, which makes downtown Chicago and Michigan Avenue so vibrant, but leaves us with a giant sucking sound, where our jobs are sucked out of here, everything that's worth taking out of here goes somewhere else, and nothing is coming here until black and white together come up with a plan to welcome Mr. Mitsubishi to Danville, to welcome General Motors back, to welcome Honda back, to welcome Amazon to political dynamics of this town and of this state. I can do that. I can't speak for people who are just running on inflation, and they're just running on jobs, and they're just running to fight crime, and they're lying to you because they can't do it without this gateway.
Right.
There are no promises that any politician can keep without this gateway. So with that said, the second congressional district begins here in Hyde Park, the Kenwood area. We now have two anchors in the second congressional district. The Obama Presidential Library will attract tourists from downtown Chicago to about the University of Chicago. And that's about as far south as they're coming. They're not coming to Danville. They're stopping at the Obama Library. But then, right here in Pullman, I created a national park to honor the men and women who were Pullman porters, where they had the Pullman strike, where A. Philip Randolph created the March for Jobs and Justice on August 28, 1963, and he invited as one of the speakers for the Jobs and Justice March, Martin Luther King Jr., who delivered his speech called I Have a Dream, but we've never returned to jobs and justice. The march was not the I Have a Dream march. It was the Jobs and Justice March for the South Side of Chicago that began at Pullman on 111th Street. Now that it's a national park, we've begun to pull Chicago a little bit further south because tourists want to come and visit it. Wake up, Al Penn. We've been up for 24 hours. I see I'm losing out. Wake up, Al Penn. The next big opportunity that we have to attract the service-based economy to our area is this field between Moline, Peatone, Creek, and Beecher that has been set aside by the FAA to build an airport. With that said, this is the second congressional district from Kenwood all the way to Westville. Why does the FAA want a South Suburban airport? The FAA predicted in 1985 that Chicago would hit aviation capacity by 2000, and order after 20 years and 20 billion, there's still no more new flights coming in to O'Hare. Chicago has lost passengers and they've lost cargo market since 2000. O'Hare and Midway cannot expand because they have no more airspace above the airport, above the gateway. There's no more space. And they have no more land space on the ground. So we have to build land space airport to have new airspace above it that does not conflict with O'Hare and Midway in a completely different space that we've begun buying land for our future and our prosperity. Companies want to be near airports. Companies are locating distribution operations closer to air cargo ports as they contend with a raft of challenges, particularly higher transportation costs, which comprise 45 to 70% of overall supply chain costs. Also, the reshoring of some manufacturing operations has been another catalyst for demand at airports. Some of what Trump is doing, demanding that companies come back to the United States, is a factor in our potential if we're ready to receive it. Here are the Amazon sites in northern Illinois. You can see them as far away as Rockford, Morton Grove, Wooddale, Melrose Park, obviously in Chicago, Bolingbrook, Monique, Channahon. You can see them here, but you don't see them on this map in downstate Illinois. We can't get Amazon down here. We can't keep UPS down here. We can't keep FedEx or get FedEx down here because we don't have a gateway to the world to move packages. Top businesses are located near cargo airports. Third-party logistics, 42.7%. General retail and wholesale, 32.2%. E-commerce is only 3.9% of the growth. But look at what's going on with airports around the country, except for our region. Seattle is experiencing growth. Miami, Denver, New York, Washington, D.C. Metro, San Francisco, Houston, but Chicago's problem is our South Side and South Suburban opportunity. We get something from the global economy if we can move forward together. Commercial flights as a percentage of passenger growth. You can see it growing. In all of the cities are negatively $20 billion to upgrade its airport. It has not added one new flight. My friend, the son of a friend of mine, the late Ross Perot, has a son named Ross Perot Jr. Some of you may be old enough to remember when Ross Perot ran for president of the United States. So I'm telling my age. Ross Jr., when I was a congressman, had me come to Dallas, Texas, and he's a helicopter pilot, an Air Force helicopter pilot. He took me on a tour of what he calls on the Circle T Ranch, which is his family's ranch of thousands and thousands of acres. He built one Code F runway in the middle of his ranch. Everybody laughed at him. He put it on Ross Perot's property. One Code F runway. That runway created a public-private partnership which opened in 1989 for cargo. Near highways and rollways, the Lions Gateway is now home to 525 companies, 65,000 jobs, which has generated $76 billion to the local economy from logistics, health, manufacturing, to tech and entertainment. The state of Illinois in 2019, the Illinois General Assembly set aside $162 million. That's in addition to the money that Mayor McCowan's communities set aside when they purchased this footprint to put the airport on it. So off of I-57, the Illinois General Assembly has already drawn the plans, put up the money, and is prepared to build the off I-57 ramps directly to the front door of the facility. That's the public contribution to the project. The status is it's 90% complete. The state owns 89% of the inaugural footprint. The FAA has approved the need, location, size, airspace, ground access, utility access, environmental review, and finance options. And the most viable finance option is the Jesse Jackson Jr. self-financed public-private partnership, where the state leases to our home rule municipalities the land for 99 years. We then enter into a relationship with the builder developers who pay us rent. They run the airport. With the rent, we continue to buy land for future expansion of the project. And because the footprint just north of here is full, all we need today to get started. We don't have to build the whole thing. We just have to build the things that planes need: a runway, a taxiway, not thousands of gates, just a couple, and a cargo space. When the word goes around the world that black and white together, red and blue together, in Illinois are coming together around a, try that one more time.
Gateway!
When the world gets the news that black and white together, red and blue together, are coming together around building a gateway to the world, the prospectors are going to come and start calling Billy Ware. They're going to call Al McCowan. They're going to start calling Ricky Williams. They're going to start calling Brother Streben. They're going to start calling us, asking us about the opportunities to be in, near, or close to this facility. Which means some of our neighbors are going to be speaking Korean and Japanese and French and German. Won't be just us demanding better schools. It'll be some people who can afford to pay for better schools. Our homeowners' taxes will no longer be paying for everything in Denver. Amazon's going to pick up their fair share of the price. And so is DHL and UPS and Hyatt and Hilton and Fairmont. I asked Deontay, since it is a 3-hour drive from my home to get down here, where can I stay in Danville? Deontay said, you better get a place in Champaign-Urbana. Well, we got down here. You don't want to stay at it, Jesse. Oh, Sister Brooks ain't putting up with that. We ain't even asking for Hyatt and Hilton and Fairmont. And the Democratic Party is not asking for Hilton and Hyatt. Because people who stay at Hilton, Hyatt, and Fairmont are visiting Danville. You know your hotel got a problem when folk in Danville is checking into the hotel in Danville. Hotels are made for people who visit. People who work in the cities go home at night. Y'all not walking with me. You think I don't know the subculture? I know exactly what it is. I live next to the Stony Island Motel on Stony Island Avenue. That ain't downtown Chicago. That's next to the Roberts Motel. You know, the place where everybody goes after graduation. So how we build airports? Let's get back to business. So because we can imagine on 20,000 acres what we can build, we can imagine the biggest and best and most efficient airport ever built. And it will be constructed once we put the runway where it belongs, once we put the terminal where it belongs, once we put the cargo place on 20,000 acres, just like Alliance Airport, where it belongs. It will never move. It will be just like Lego blocks. So we won't be tearing up the airport that we build. We'll just be adding to it. It's called just-in-time construction. Just in time to meet the demand. Now, if I were just running for Congress at 60, which I already did, been there, done that, the answer would be just vote yes, no, president. Come back and have a press conference and tell you I believe in women's rights, and I believe in the environment, and I believe in education, and I'm fighting for health care. No, the congressman from the south side of Chicago, from the south suburbs, has an obligation to educate people who are voting. You have to know what you are voting for. You have to vote to put an economic plan on the ballot. Because not putting it on the ballot is to vote. It's like shooting crap. You don't know what you're going to get until the dice land. We have to see everyone's economic plan, and it needs to be well thought through. The plan that I'm showing you cost Mr. McCowan's communities and other communities that we brought into the commission $2.5 million. So I can show you this presentation. An airport, Brother Shaw, that fits in the footprint in its full capacity. But all we're building on opening day is one Code F and a taxiway, a small terminal, and plenty of room for unlimited expanded cargo space. Once we build phase one of the airport, for very little money, we can build an expanded terminal, which is really like walking down a long little hallway, and the gates right here, and the gates right here. That doesn't cost much, but we get the revenue from airport operations without building an expansive terminal. In the meantime, once phase one is complete, we then go to phase two, which is a more serious expansion of the project. Then we go to phase three of the airport. Once phase three of the airport is complete, then we come back to the other side of the airport, which we close and begin building phase four. Then over time, our airport, which was one runway and 5 gates, which looks like this is all I'm talking about building, it eventually begins to look like this. 86 gates, 2 Code F, 12,000 feet runways. But this little airport right here is 15,000 jobs on opening day. 15,000 to construct it. And even more jobs as communities like Tilton begin to enter the marketplace and entertain business leaders from around the world who want to know more about Vermilion County. Now, politics. Politics. It's the second time I've been down here.
Yes, sir.
This presentation cost me $2,000 today.
Yes, sir.
I'm not asking you for anything. I sent a letter, an invitation to 29 preachers who are not here. I sent the letter and the email to your Democratic leadership. That is not here. And I represented this district for 17 years, brought in nearly $1 billion in federal appropriations. And there's no one running for Congress in this district who has a record of accomplishment quite like mine, getting grants. Quite like mine. I believe after a 3.5-hour drive, we're entitled to the minimum respect to know exactly what we're capable of doing for this district and what it means for Vermilion County. You have to take that serious. Issues they think that you need to vote for. No one's voting for them unless your name is Mom Donnie. Or unless you're in New Jersey, or unless you're in Virginia. Because the machine Democrats that like to control votes are not fighting for economic prosperity. They are fighting to get rid of Donald Trump. I get that. But they're not fighting to build one of these things down here. I'm not discussing the national economy, Senator Brooks. I'm discussing the Danville economy. It doesn't matter who the president is. It doesn't matter who the governor is. Ain't nothing changing in Danville. Nothing's changing in Tilton. And I can't make promises to the people down here that I can't keep unless you understand what it is that we are fighting for together. Are we on the same page? Without vision, without vision, we are building one
8,000-foot cold air runway.
We are building what?
10,000-foot cold air runway.
She's a hell of a solo. You know, we're supposed to be building one word. So let's try and keep it.
One 10,000-foot cold air runway. 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 One 10,000-foot cold air runway.
So I don't know how to speak down to people. I've been to prison. I've been to prison, I've been to Congress, I've shaken the hands of 2 votes. I've met 6 United States presidents as Jesse's boy. As a foreign operations appropriator, I've brought $1 billion home to the 2nd Congressional District of Illinois. I've worked with Newt Gingrich, Nancy Pelosi, every conceivable speaker. I've been in politics all of my life. I'm not going to be out-politicked by people who've never run in this district, who do not know this district, who've never done anything in this district. And you may want a fresh face in this district. But my face has been gone for 13 years. As far as I can tell, my face is still fresh. Fresh, man. But I'm also, Reverend, not speaking down to people. I need to raise your expectations to what's wrong that's bigger than you. Right. I am tired of asking in Harvey and Markham and Phoenix and Tilton for one grocery store at a time that doesn't want to be over here. Okay. The only way we get them over here is
One 10,000-foot cold air runway.
that part right there. How many feet?
10,000.
How many feet?
10,000.
How many feet?
10,000.
Anything shorter won't do. Anything shorter won't do. You'll never see a 747 land at a new airport. Never. It has no cargo. This runway is too short. A 747 can't stop on a short runway or take off. You need 10,000 feet. And all we need is one. So everybody running for office down here ought to be telling you how they're going to build a gateway for us to the world. Because right now, we hear on the news, we watch the stock exchange, the global economy is missing Danville.
Yes,
It's
sir.
missing Tilton.
Yes, sir.
It's missing University Park. The black mayor of University Park is in the same place with the white mayor from Tilton. But they come together and we build a gateway together. We stop talking about race. We start talking about business. We start talking about what our communities and workers can do together. And then we grow together. And the tension comes down because we're doing so well together. We may even end up worshiping together. So we go from racial battleground to economic common ground and on to moral, spiritual, higher ground where we can have great conversations about things moral, spiritual, and physical. We can be the Socrates and the Aristophanes and the Euripides, and we can sit around the Parthenon reflecting upon the world. Greek civilization is doing so well after having robbed everybody else's stuff and living in Peru. We got right to be philosophical, but they collapsed. They did collapse. They weren't a sharing society. They left too many people behind. And so you can't sustain it unless all of us are benefiting together. I left room for plenty of questions and plenty of thoughts, plenty of answers. This is part of our economic vision. The other part of our economic vision, yes, is to help Mayor Ware and others get their soybeans and their corn to market. Yes, sir. You're on.
Right, give a little talk a while ago, I brought up about our airport.
What do you say?
Can you let everybody know how that could actually fit in with this and benefit us to make us even closer to that world connection?
Okay, I appreciate it. Give the mayor a round of applause for this question. As I understand, listen carefully now, pay attention because we learned a lot today. As I understand, the Vermilion County Airport's runway is about 6,000 feet. What's the problem with that? It's too short and it can't handle cargo. So it has to be extended. There's another problem with the Vermilion County Airport. It's covered in asphalt. You see, a 10,000-foot cold air runway is only concrete. It's concrete and rebar.
Right.
And you can't put a jet on asphalt. Because just like you can hardly keep a car on asphalt without the asphalt getting sucked up in between your wheels, you can't have a jet sucking that kind of air in its intake, sucking asphalt into its engine. You see?
Yeah.
You see? So the question that he raises is a good one. It's a complicated one because we're talking about the transformation of the Vermilion County Airport. But if we work on the northern airport together, the communities that become part of the commission established by Mayor McCallum and communities up north, the communities that are part of that deal, that public-private partnership, get to vote on improvements in communities that benefit the airport and the project to which we are all a part. Which means it is possible that an airport generating this kind of revenue has enough money to build you a cold air runway. That's $1.5 billion, by the way. That's $1.5 billion to build that runway. Danville doesn't have $1.5 billion. Vermilion County does not have $1.5 billion to upgrade that runway. What this public-private partnership does. So only home rule municipalities can join, which means as far as I can tell. Okay, Tilton can join the commission. I believe Danville is home rule.
Yes, sir.
Danville can join the commission, and it doesn't cost you anything. It is a resolution that your city council passes to join the commission with your northern neighbors. We're all in the same congressional district. And there is not a single tax associated to you with building this airport. Not one. Doesn't cost you anything. But you're at the table when we discuss off-site airport improvements that need to be funded. That's what I think, Mr. Mayor. Hope that answers your question.
Well, I brought it up, so everybody can hear.
Oh, yeah, he says he brought up so everybody can hear. I want the answer. so
That's
everybody can
one
hear.
thing you talked before.
Yes.
I look at it as an economic benefit to us, that if Vermillion County would put forth the effort in our airport, we could generate a small hub with a small industry jobs. I mean,
I think that
honestly,
would,
it would not even have to have the large runway. It could be done with what we have now, but with more.
there's a new airport that's being built in China that is operational in China. They have no passengers at all. It's all cargo. Our new airport is going to have the capacity also to launch drones and deliver packages by drones. We are a modern airport. And so it has the potential to change life as we know it. And we ought not ignore it. It's real, and I think that the mayor's concern about Vermillion is absolutely right. I would make the argument, yes, we can make a change, and we would help in every way that we could. I'd make my best argument to the commission to assist in that endeavor and in that project. But I can also tell you that we would be pushing Vermillion to be bigger than it could ever be imagined, and that's CODEF. And we have finance getting it. Because not only will you have nonstop access to Hong Kong from the airport north of you, you'll have access to Hong Kong right here.
No,
And that changes everything. That's the game changer. Yes, ma'am.
This is off the subject, although I'm very much for this, I think it's an incredible opportunity, but I just, I just want you to kind of step up for a wait, and I ran into a retired Democratic judge, and he might stop by, and he said, could you ask him where he is on redistricting?
what did you say?
Her question is about where am I on redistricting? She bumped into a retired judge. And my answer is far more complex. My answer is far more complex. My answer is far more 1965. Legislatures violates the Voting Rights Act of 1965, from my perspective. It violates the spirit of Section 2, which was that race could be used as a factor in the drawing of congressional districts. It also violates the spirit of Section 5, that those southern states that were part of the Confederacy must get pre-clearance from the federal government before they implement any state plans, so that African Americans in Texas have an equal opportunity of getting elected to Congress. There have been a series of cases that weakened Section 5. The Robinson versus Calais decision, and a case which was argued 3 weeks ago on Wednesday, weakens Section 2, and there's talk of the Supreme Court completely declaring the Voting Rights Act of 1965 unconstitutional. If that's the case, in first Reconstruction, there were 16 African Americans elected to Congress, 2 in the Senate, 14 in the House. By the turn of the century, there were 0 blacks in Congress because of the Night Riders, the Ku Klux Klan, terrorism at the polls, poll taxes, how many jelly beans in a jar, how many bubbles in a bar of soap. All these questions they used to ask us to vote. And so we went from having representatives in Congress who were Lincoln Republicans and were black, arguing our case, to 0. By this time next year, we could go from 62 blacks in Congress to 30. Without the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Jasmine Crockett's seat is gone. She's thinking about running for Senate. Manny Cleaver in Missouri's seat is in deep trouble because the state's redrawing that state. Andre Carson, I talked with him last week, Congressman, African American from Indianapolis. His seat is just about obliterated. Gavin Newsom, I know you all want more Democrats, but the Voting Rights Act of 1965 is about holding the Republican Party accountable and the Democratic Party accountable, because when they get to the legislature by themselves, they always think about Democrats and Republicans, but they don't necessarily think about women. They don't think about Hispanics. They don't think about blacks. And so we end up in districts where we can't win. We can't have someone talking about our disparities, because the northern part of our congressional district, given the racial sentiments in some part of our state, those interests may not be represented by a congressman who's elected from a district that extends from the city of Chicago all the way to Kentucky. And the plan in Illinois with respect to redistricting is to draw this district from Chicago all the way to Kentucky, making it almost impossible for Harvey, Markham, Phoenix, and Dixmoor to get a member of Congress who speaks just like in Tilton, Illinois. We can't afford to fix the pipes underneath our cities. We don't have businesses in our community paying their fair share of taxes. They've all moved out, like General Motors down here, in Wyman Gordon, in Harvey, Illinois. Those were our last connections to the global economy. And they left us here without the global economy until we build
1 10,000 foot cold air runway.
one 10,000 foot cold air runway. Means that if we make crankshafts in the 2nd Congressional District of Illinois, we can take them to the airport and have them delivered anywhere in the world 24 hours later, with a crankshaft made in Tilton, Illinois. Tilton, Illinois cannot make crankshafts or carburetors.
Not right now.
Not right now without access to the global economy. So the suppliers for almost everything that we do could locate near us, but companies, it's okay. It was the chart that was right here. Companies want to locate near gateways. I'm just here to build a gateway. It is my hope, it's a serious hope, that I become the next congressman of the 2nd Congressional District. But one thing's for sure, you're going to be better educated by the time I'm finished with this race.
All right.
Because what I do know, whether you like me, don't like me, like my dad, don't like my dad, I have to transfer the information to you. To demand of them.
1,000 foot.
You don't mess it up already.
10,000 foot cold air runway.
That right there. But she's still a soloist in here. That's the part I don't get at all. One more time.
10,000 foot cold air runway.
That part.
I know a lot of y'all want I was staff weather officer for the 101st Airborne, 82nd Airborne, 3rd Infantry Division. So I know a little bit about flying in the airports and stuff like that. So the C-5 Galaxy is the largest cargo plane that we have. And it needs 6,000 feet to take off, but it needs 8,000 to land. And if it's fully loaded, it can't take off with 6,000 feet. So everything that he's saying is the mathematics on it is correct. And I'm saying that as a subject matter expert, because that's what I did 10 years in the United States Air Force, but 101st Airborne Division.
Let's make this better. For his service both in Iraq and Afghanistan. Give him another. Any other questions? I got no more time. Nothing but time. I drove 3 hours, I got 3 hours home and at least an hour and a half.
Mr. Jackson,
Yes, sir.
didn't you say that the money was already sitting on the governor's desk?
So, let me explain this to you. Let me explain this to you. The mayor of Tilton says if it's on Pritzker's desk, it's gone. Let me share with you where we are. Right, because the money for this airport is in the private sector. And the land trust and can't fix this and can't fix that is because we've been investing our money in the land for the gateway. We need the governor to transfer the land to the communities that don't have anything, which we would like Tilton to join, which we would like Danville to join, to the communities that don't have anything, so that we can come together as communities in this area and be the public partner in the private partnership that begins the process of building this gateway. All right, now, what this man did, and the commission that he represents, was he took this $2.5 million study, and we submitted it to the state of Illinois in good faith. We said we could build a public-private partnership airport, and Pritzker wasn't even thinking about running for governor when we did this. I said, Edgar, Ryan, Blagojevich, and Quinn, they all had our plans. Now the state of Illinois has passed a public-private partnership law for the construction of building an airport in this area because of our plans. So the state of Illinois issued an RFP, and 12 different teams representing 12 of the largest companies and financial interests in the world have now bid in Illinois on how they would desire to construct the project. There's one problem. The state of Illinois cannot run this airport. They have to have a local sponsor. Why do they have to have a local sponsor? Because the sponsor must be like-minded. The state of Illinois is not a like-minded partner. Because every time they elect new state representatives and new senators who are looking for money to fund something in their little districts, they add an amendment to IDOT, they add an amendment to this, they add an amendment to that, and you can't put your hand in the pocket of our self-financing public-private partnership. Because our public-private partnership is a business deal, where the like-minded partners agree with the expansion of the airport, and if our money isn't there when our private partners say it's time to expand, then we can't expand. That airport is called Mid-America, and it ain't working. That's the one Illinois runs. This one has to be run by like-minded partners in a public-private partnership, and that's what makes this unique.
So who would that possibly be?
Any home rule municipality under Illinois law can enter into taxes or pay taxes or any of that stuff. They're 30. We would like Tilton. We would like Danville. We would like other home rule municipalities that are now in the district to join the commission for free by passing the resolution in your city council. It will make news. But the most important news that it's going to make is blue and red together. Black and white together. That we're bringing our interests together to welcome a gateway to our community. America needs that now more than ever.
That's right. Say it.
I'll say it again now. America needs that now more than ever. And we can be the first to inaugurate that kind of business interest. Now, let me tell you one other critical concerns. Nothing personal to anybody, but this is our money in that land. And we believe in diversity, in equity, and inclusion. So does our government. But that does not mean that future governors will believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And what we cannot afford is for a future governor to take our land and give our land to someone who doesn't believe in what we believe in. And we can all participate. We can't be locked out of something we've been fighting for 40 years.
Right.
Seriously?
Reverend, I'm sorry.
I said it's gonna probably turn it into a cotton field.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not, Reverend. But there has been talk that
That's real talk.
the governor may not want to build an airport. But we have to we have to see our economic future. We have to see our economic future. That's our money that that's our money, our investment.
Know what I'm
Because
talking
we
about?
wanted access to the world. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I sound dumb, but have you been able to list all the different possibilities of small towns or cities in this area that you go to and to their city council meetings and ask them, or make a presentation and ask them?
I appreciate that very much. If you're willing to volunteer in that capacity, for us to help with that list, I'd appreciate it. What I do know is that I sent a letter, an email to Governor Ware, who did not believe it was me reaching out to him. He said, hey, he responded by saying, well, I'll email you, Mark. But I'm the one who sent you the email.
Well,
He said,
you gotta remember that, I think Al said the original one, you said the reply, and I went, oh.
So, the mayor is,
Home rule.
they have to be home.
Yeah, I haven't, do you have any idea?
I can only tell you, I have.
Yeah, but
Dam
how
law, and dam law is automatic,
So I can-
rule is determined by population. So there's a good chance, Cook said.
Yeah, that, I'm literally texting some people right now, because I was like, I'm pretty sure we're home rule, but I can't. And Lord knows the mayor's not answering my call, so.
The same,
I
the
think
same,
it's around
now,
the dam law is.
the other dynamic that works to us politically, is this. If, for example, Tilton joins, and the community that you spoke about join, and other communities are willing, which I'm not unmindful of the fact that we keep sending out requests. You see, we bring a professional presentation with us. We're not playing games, we mean business. If we can get these other municipalities to overcome the political dynamic and hear what we're about and what we're trying to do for the region, we are confident that the governor who wants to be president will be known as a uniter and not a divider. He needs that. Every politician does, whether they recognize it or not. What I'm asking you to do is to think about all of us working together to create the dynamic that makes it possible for politicians to make decisions that make them sound like they've done something great. We have to create the dynamic. The dynamic does not create itself. We have to reach out. And what Mayor Ware did not tell you is after our first meeting, he gave me and Al Pence about 25 pounds of collard greens. He grows collard greens. And that was to us an act of love. I realize y'all don't eat collard greens. Some of us.
Collard greens, you hear that?
There's two ways to do it. One is through population size. One way to become home rule is through population size, and the other is through referendum. For example, you heard Mayor Ware say his community is 2,700 people that have home rule.
Referendum, here's back, they opened, when they first started, they kind of like opened it up, so we put in for home rule.
Okay.
And the reason being, we put in for home rule all the time. So that's why we got the home rule, was to help with that situation.
That's right.
Wikipedia didn't have anything when I looked, so that's my question.
I mean, there are very few communities around here that are 20,000 people. And then the ones who aren't, have even gone, the ones who aren't, don't have 20,000 people in this community, or in this area, how many of them have gone to the,
Well, the mayor, he may know more about this than I do, but the fact of it is the numbers have changed. So when they first started the home rule process, you didn't have ants to automatic be put in the home rule. So there's a possibility of Houston may
Could have been grandfathered in.
be home rule.
but we can find this, you said, pretty easily.
I think you should be able to. Then the other way I mentioned was through referendum, which means you place on the ballot.
Right.
Yeah.
If people vote.
There's not a.
There's a ballot.
Okay, thank you for that.
I'm sure the, we got on the computer, I'm sure the state of Illinois, they just put in a state of Illinois home rule community. I'm sure they got it.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a way that you or somebody could help a group here come up with a strategy to work with our city council and mayor to influence us, or at least listen to the presentation?
Trustee Shaw was trustee from University Park when I was representing this district in Congress. He now lives, I understand, in the Champaign-Urbana area.
Okay.
Let me let the trustee respond to that, trustee Shaw.
Oh, great.
He said he didn't hear.
You're right.
I told him I'd be glad to help them. I've been doing economic development for almost 40 years.
So the long and the short of it is, I don't think, and Shaw, Mayor Collins, I don't think home rule municipalities who joined our commission have had to hire any consultants or pay anything. They just simply, we presented you with the resolution to pass, you pass it, you send out a press release, it's done in a public meeting, boom. No communities have ever been billed or charged a tax for participation. Risk-free. But the politics of us coming together for our economic development and growth to access to the world is what will be a phenomenon in American politics, given the nature of the country's division. We can pull this off where there is no vision.
Interested in affordable housing, especially for seniors, and I brick wall. And I'm trying to get people together for a strategy on how to do that, but I think this is critical that we come up with a united strategy to influence, go to city council, whatever we have to do.
So if you Google in Harvey, Illinois, Dixie Mall. You got a phone? Pull out your phone.
Seen it, yes.
No. The old Dixie Mall. Google the mall that Jake and Elwood Blues drove through on their way to Chicago from a mission, on a mission to Chicago.
Right.
It's all now torn down. Now Google, unfortunately the residents did this, I had nothing to do with it. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Senior Housing Facility. Google it.
I've seen it.
Google it. Google it. I build senior housing. That's what I do, of the highest quality and highest standard. Phase 1 is now on the land that was once the Dixie Mall. There are 2 more phases, maybe 3 more phases, that we seek to finish affordable living housing of the highest quality standards for seniors. Part of our campaign is about allowing me to finish the job that I started for the people of the second congressional district. So senior housing is a priority of mine, not just in Harvey, but as far south as Danville and Tilton and any jurisdiction that is in the second congressional district of Illinois.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay? High standard stuff. Great, beautiful. I'm not talking about low income, nothing. I'm talking about high quality senior living.
Paris, Illinois has developed some wonderful affordable housing in a high school and.
Any other questions? Sir?
How long before the airport will be built, if it?
The press conference of the announcement itself should begin the process of speculators and jobs being created in, near, and around that facility. It changes the environment of real estate, of housing, of schools. People who want to, that announcement occurs when the governor, along with this mayor, are both in the middle of that field taking a shovel and doing this. Doesn't matter. You're in Illinois. You're here in America. The construction of this airport will take, I think it can be done in approximately 3 years. It's 3 to 5 years, but it's 15,000 construction jobs. Now, that matters because of our skill sets, right? We're not just talking about lawyers and paper pushers and things. We're talking about men and women in the trades. We're talking about IBEW electricians. We're talking about concrete. We're talking about steel. We're talking about construction on a scale that the region hasn't seen in 100 years. I think I can say that conservatively. But the announcement itself, this is the only project in America where the announcement itself is a job generator. We're coming. It says we're coming. Somebody says, you're driving down the highway, you see 300 acres for sale. Oh, that's gone. I said the announcement itself, 300 acres this close to that facility, it's gone. That week it's gone. Driving down the highway, 800 acres for sale, gone. Because the announcement's been made. Make the announcement. And skill set, why the communities? Because the mayor of Tilton will be at the table. Ideally, the mayor of Danville will be at the table, and some of the derelicts of destitution in our communities who can't find a job, the mayor has input in the commission that, hey, to the trades. We got young brothers out here who need to learn how to pour concrete and need to know how to do electrical. They've been through the system. They've been through something. And by the way, a lot of people in the trades have been through something because they learned their skill in the joint. Yeah. Community college. Trade school. That's the nature of the joint. So they ain't just union jobs. It's some of our young men who've been through something, who need the union job. But the union ain't hiring nobody if there ain't no runway being built. There's no one to cover if there's no future, if there's no gateway to the world. We have to have a gateway to the world, ladies and gentlemen. the amount of rails that's going to be built to help this facility, the amount of roads that are going to be built to move our soybean and our corn and our produce out of here will be so extraordinary that you can't even calculate what the public advantage and investment is that comes from this project. It's going to seem like normal that to get from here to Indianapolis is faster. It's just gonna seem normal that to get from here to Chicago is faster. It's gonna seem normal, but there's nothing normal about it. It's because these two guys came together, made a decision that we're not going to be diverted or distracted, and that we're going to build something so extraordinary that it will be the envy of the world. The envy of the world. And Governor Pritzker can do that for us. He can do it for Illinois. He can do it for this country, because this country needs to see the example that we are about to set by working together. And I'm not suggesting to you, I'm not going to suggest to you that it's going to be easy. I expect to be refereeing a lot of fights in my matters. I understand that. I don't want them to be public fights. Yes, sir.
Okay, we got a question here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Amy, I'm
He
sorry.
gave me the mic, so I get to talk now.
This is our county board.
Yeah, well, yeah, Scott County Board Chair.
I know you.
Yeah, so, for those of you, I'll stand up. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amy Buttram. I am the chair of the Vermilion County Democratic Party. With that being said, Jesse and his team know that, our party has decided not to endorse any candidate in the primary race. Because if you look at the list, there are 10 people running for the Democratic primary for the U.S. Congressional District IL2. There are 2 Republicans currently running. I don't know if she's been kicked off yet, but we'll see how that objection goes. So the race is quite large. With that being said, he made a comment earlier that he is the only one with an actual plan. Now, as I said, I'm not endorsing. However, I have spoken. We have had, okay, let's see. How many people have we had? Okay, we had France, we had France, Regis, Brown. That all we had, well, Preston, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so we have heard from 5, now we've heard from 6. 6 out of the 10 Democratic primary candidates. And this is the most comprehensive plan that I have seen from any candidate. There's only one other person that's running that at least has some sort of idea of what needs to be done in the area and what we are running the race, and ask them what is their actual plan. On day 1, if they are elected and put in office, what are they actually going to do for the area?
I love Vermilion County. I am so grateful, recognizing the unique position that the county chairman has with respect to the Democratic Party, for her integrity, her honesty. I shared with a wonderful person in my life and in my space that I hope I am successful in my effort to run again. But if I'm not, it's okay. If the other candidates understand that they have to pick up this work with integrity, it was worth it for me. Because everyone is going to be the beneficiary of not a new understanding or starting over. You have to finish the task that Mayor McCowley, hopefully Mayor Ware, and Elbert Shaw, and others have begun almost 30 years ago together in 1995, when we all first met. It took us that long to buy the 4,000 acres. And it's gonna take us a lot less time if red, yellow, brown, black, and white, we're all together. If blue and red, we're all together. If we're not speaking from the north, looking down on our neighbors in the south, and our neighbors in the south looking up on us like we're un-American or not American or something. If whatever the dynamics are, if we can overcome that in this very expansive and limited space, if we can control our tongues and our conversation can be about how we can grow together for a period of time, and we make a habit out of it, that we think before we speak. If we make a habit out of it, that the means that we engage in do not justify the ends that we seek. But the end that we want is pre-existent in the means. Meaning, I gave thought to what I wanted to say before I came here and said it so that I can achieve unity in the end. I gave thought to unity. But it doesn't just happen. How do I get former mayor from University Park to drive 3 hours, no longer being a mayor? How do I get Albert to drive an hour from Champaign-Urbana here? And how do I convince and earn the trust of Mayor Ware that this is very serious? Business, and that we need you offer that authentic analysis. Maybe a couple more questions. I'm gonna hang around here for a minute. I got a lot to write down.
So it seems like you've been in for a while, as far as trying to get this up and running. What is your gut concern as far as politics? Because to me, it's the politics that really stunts the growth of your project.
Well, there's clearly politics at play because there's no reason why, given that we have the largest job generating plan in the district, that on our 4th trip to Vermillion, no matter how much we spend on food, how much we spend on prep, some people don't deem that the meeting itself is worthy of at least coming to hear the presentation. I don't have the answer to that other than Brother Brooks works hard as hell, and other than Amy has never missed a meeting, and we have respected her as party chairman. We've not asked her for an endorsement. We recognize the unique role that she plays. But beyond that, how about a plan? We deserve a plan. And if we can rally, if we don't have a plan, we can't even hold the candidates for Senate to the plan. If we don't have a plan, we can't even hold the governor to the plan. We have to have and agree upon a plan. And there will never be a time, unless I'm preaching on a church on one of these Sunday mornings, where I come down here to Vermillion without a plan and a presentation, because I think things need to be as visual as they are audible.
And so speaking of that, the media is extremely important. And is there any way of like somehow using what's happened here today and putting it into a small video for advertisement, but also some of the other videos that we have? Oh, there are? Oh, okay, well, that's what we need, but we also need to like put in plugs from things that are happening in this area where we're trying to increase, we're trying to deal with the issues of racial disparity, and we're trying to deal with the violence, we just had one be shot and killed here not too long ago, and, just a lot of issues. We work a lot, Dan and I and other people, on so many issues, and we come against the brick wall, which is, of course, Ruthie Wiggins. And we have other people that have joined in, and most of our issues are about housing and trying to do something about the homelessness. And, we both are like looking for a much bigger vision than that, I was married to a Black architect who was extremely successful. Unfortunately, he died at the age of 50, and that's how I ended up moving here to Danville. I was born and raised in Champaign. I'm not just trying to talk about me or anything like that. And we put a lot of energy into so many things, going all the way from here to Chicago, with like it's nothing, working with people on different things. I think we have a lot of energy to put together, and we can make this happen. We definitely can make it happen. Everything you're saying just makes so much sense. Everything, I'm talking about, like when you say, like, my daughter went away to Chicago she graduated from our institute, and now she has a fabulous life in Columbus, Ohio, and has, 3 children and my grandchildren, but all of a sudden she, you know, I think it's been 10 years and she won't come to campus. You know, I mean, nobody wants to come here.
So you have my commitment to come to Danville as often as you will have me.
Yes.
Deontay's tired of buying all the food each time I come. So we have to find a way to work together. And I don't think, and I can come here and not advocate for my candidacy. I'm smart enough and enough judgment, worldly enough, to be able to come down here and share a vision without saying vote for me. It's going to be hard when I share this vision for you to not vote for me back in that can. It is what it is. Because without vision, the people perish. But Moses has to have a vision. Pharaoh let our people go. We want to go this way. There has to be a vision. There has to be a visionary. Visions don't occur out of context. I'm okay with it. But I hope this young man right here got the vision now. I hope somebody, if fate should fall me and I not make it home safely, I hope we left enough vision in the room for some people to begin to demand higher expectations of what we can become in Danville. This is what my dad's leaving me. I don't know, in perfect candor, if my dad will make it another week. That's how weak he is. I'm rushing back to Chicago, but I wasn't canceling this because Brother Brooks had that kind of time yet. I'm gonna keep coming back. I see the same people, but I did reach out to all of the preachers. We did reach out to the mayors in the region and ask them to be here. We're not going to stop reaching out. I'm not asking anybody to change their political parties. I'm asking them to join a conversation about business so that together we can get the governor's attention. Mayor Billy Ware says all you have to do is hold up a pork chop.
First, I just want to say, I can tell you that anybody who's followed his career knows that as good as he is with words, he is better with action. And so we don't finish any meeting without giving everybody an action to take. How many people took pictures today of the meeting or any of the displays? Raise your hand, please. How many people have a Facebook or an Instagram? Raise your hand, please. The best thing to do when you see something you believe in is to share it. So if you can post a picture, you can take a picture with the body. It's very photogenic. You can take a picture with the congressman, take a picture of what you've seen today, take a picture, share what you heard today, and you can go to our website, jessejacksonjrforcongress.com. You can pull the words right off the website, but please share it on your social feeds. That's the best way to take a plan and make it an action. We are all shareholders in the vision of Illinois, the future of Illinois, and the future of Danville. God bless you. Thank you for joining us today. Please share what you heard. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate you. And we're praying for Pops, but now, I was born and raised here in Danville, AKA the Blessfield is what I call it, and it's very rich soil here. But I know you said that you're doing the same dishes and but I want to know what drew you here? Yeah, I mean, what led you to Danville?
This is gonna sound interesting. I'm a graduate of Chicago Theological Seminary. I went to law school at Champaign-Urbana. I used to antique shop in Rantoul. And it's been a long time since I've been downstate. I drew the 2nd Congressional District after the decennial census in 2000 I drew this district in 2002. I drew the congressional district after the decennial census in 2010 and the reapportionment plan in 2012, at which point in time I left Congress. I resigned from Congress. Important point, I did not get thrown out of Congress. I resigned from Congress so I could run for Congress again.
Good point, good point.
But I did not draw this district after the decennial census in 2020 or 2022. But the population shifts drew the southernmost point on the district. And therefore, the congressional district that I represented when I was in Congress was mostly here. Now it's all of this. So I had to come up with an economic plan while I was exploring whether or not I thought I could represent this district. I had to come up with an economic plan that covered the whole space. And if I put, thank you, sir, if I put a compass in the middle of the project, which is this purple area right here, I got a couple of these. Take one of those over there so you can see. I put this purple project right here in the middle of blue and red, and I decided to name it, under this man's leadership, Abraham Lincoln. North and South, Democrat and Republican, because Lincoln seemed to be a figure that could pull us together. But look at the radius of this thing. The impact of this airport is going to be over in Indiana. It's going to reach all the way down here to the southernmost point of the district, because people are going to come from near and far to get to that destination, to that gateway. And you can't do it without that runway. That's the way to do it. So I'm a minister. I'm a minister of sorts. I'm kind of like not the Sunday minister. I decided that my ministry is around this infrastructure and really stepping into some real problems and trying to bridge some gaps with some reasonable solutions. And this is reasonable. Why? Because the FAA says we need this now. And the opportunity is ours. And like Eminem said, we got one shot at this thing. This is our chance to blow. Because opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better.
Okay?
I probably missed it because I didn't step out in the quick, but what is Governor Pritzker's sentiment about this? Okay.
What we do know is that a number of our officials have met with the governor. The governor, even though the FAA and 4 governors before him have all said this needs to happen, he has said, well, he's not quite sure. If it's the political will. So we're going to give him the will. We're going to give him the will to fight for us. He wants to be president now. We're going to give him the will to build Illinois while he prepares to leave Illinois to run the nation. We're going to give him the will. But I can't give him the will just from the south side of Chicago, and I can't give him the will from Magaland. I have to get over the south side of Chicago nonsense and over the perceptions down here of who lives down here. I have found nothing but decency in Billy Ware. He's telling everybody down here. I just can't get everybody down here in a meeting yet. But we're going going to. We're not gonna stop coming until everybody shows up.
He just did it, but he went to a Mexico bowl down in West. He met up with people there. He met people at the restaurant. We met them too. And it's not. I'm just an example for the time being.
Just for the time being, he says.
I want to thank everybody for your
That's my
time.
man.
We look forward to coming back and,
I would like to say one thing. Has anybody purchased his book?
I have a couple of books. I have a book called The More Perfect Union, which is the history of the United States from 1619 to 2001. That's the old used version. I updated it in 2019, so from 1619 to 2019 is that book. I also have a book that I wrote about the unique discovery that I found in the Constitution of the United States, confirming that America is a theological experiment, not just a political experiment. It's called the finger of God. The founding fathers referenced regularly before the Constitutional Convention that they had found the finger of God, and in the Federalist Papers, they even attribute that the work of writing the Constitution could not have been done without the finger of God being placed in the Constitution. That's the name of my second book. But my second book is now volume 1 in the series, 1, 2. God first, love of neighbor the second. So I moved what I found last first, and what I found first last. Neighbors, God, God and neighbor. And if you look at the binders on the side, they are a perfect collection. I'm very grateful to Mayor Blair.
Just a little bit. It's a great read because it's part of history, part of